I ordered decaf.
Sorry, boss.
Stupid cretin. Great story, Angelina. Now over to Alana with the national news. International news.
Thanks, Travis. Now, Indian officials stampede kills 5. 5 women were killed in a stampede outside a spiritual center in northern India, officials said Friday. Bad weather was partly to blame for the crush that occurred at the gate of Dera Sada commune in the northern Indian state of Haryana around midnight, authorities said. About 60,000 people had assembled at the institution in the Sirsa district for a ceremony, said District Commissioner Udhir Singh. The incident happened when the congregation was walking around on a road leading to a spiritual retreat, a spokesman said. Deadly stampedes have occurred at a large religious event in India. Many of them have been blamed on facilities that could not handle the large crowds that gathered. Just last month, 63 people were killed after a stampede broke out at a temple offering free food in the northern India state of Uttar Pradesh. Next story, Lebanon mob lynching barbaric. Lebanese officials are investigating a lynching by angry villagers of an Egyptian man accused of killing a local couple and their 2 grandchildren. The suspect was with police reenacting the crime when he was seized by a mob in a village south of Beirut, according to Lebanese media reports. The mob stabbed him to death and then hanged him with a butcher's hook from a pole in the village square. Officials condemned the action by villagers as barbaric. Interior Minister Zaid Baroud offered an investigation and said such vigilante action was extremely dangerous. Mohammed Muslim, a 38-year-old Egyptian reportedly working as a butcher in Kertmaya village, had been arrested on suspicion of shooting death an elderly couple and their granddaughters aged 7 and 9. He is said to have confessed and was leading police officers through the events of the day when dozens of villagers dragged him away from police custody and began beating him with sticks and knives. Some witnesses said police rescued him and took him to a nearby hospital, only for the crowd to break into the intense care unit, drag him out, and continue to beat him. After killing Mohammed Muslim, the mob is reported to have stripped him down to his underpants, driven by his body to the streets on a car bonnet, and then hung him from a pole in the center of the village with onlookers crying Allahu Akbar, or God is great. The army was finally able to intervene after 30 minutes and took his body away. Whatever the feeling of the villagers, nothing can justify this type of reaction, Justice Minister Ibrahim Najjar said. We have the names of at least 10 people who took part in this horrible crime, and the courts must now do their work. No state of law can condone what happened. The villagers were unrepentant. This man came to the village and he did a big crime. One villager was quoted by Reuters news agency as saying, "And thank God the village took revenge with our own hands."
In other news, teacher stabs 15 students and 1 teacher in China. Gansu, China. A teacher wielding a knife broke into a primary school in southern China and stabbed 15 students and a teacher Wednesday. The same day, another school attacker was executed for killing 8 children last month, police and state media reported. The attacker taught at another primary school nearby. None of the 15 students nor the teacher is in life-threatening condition, said the director of the command center. The attacker, identified as a local official as Chen Kangbing, broke into Liqin, the #1 primary school in Lizhou City, and hacked at the students and teachers. Xinhua said he teaches at Honggang Primary School in nearby Bisha town. The report said, it said the 4th and 5th graders were stabbed in their heads, backs, and arms, but police say he's still on the loose. Back to you, Travis.
In other news, Scotland, Arkansas leveled homes, overturned vehicles, and uprooted trees were scattered across central Arkansas on Saturday after 7 tornadoes ripped through the state, killing a woman and injuring 24 others, authorities said. At least one person drowned after heavy rainfall in western Arkansas, said Renee Presler, spokeswoman for the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. The woman killed by the tornado was among 3 people in one of many homes destroyed by the Friday night storms in a small community of Scotland, about 75 miles north of Little Rock, said Van Buren County Sheriff Scott Bradley. The 2 others were hurt, but Bradley did not believe their injuries were life-threatening. More storms, including tornadoes, could hit the state Saturday, Smith said. He cited lingering warm, moist air and instability expected to persist into the evening. Flash flooding also was a threat, mainly in eastern Arkansas. About 24 people were injured across the affected counties, Presler said. Bradley, the sheriff, said he believed everyone had been accounted for to Scotland, and about 50 National Guard groups were deployed to assist local authorities. Arkansas National Guard spokesman Captain Chris Hescott said in a statement that 50 troops were mobilized to assist Saline County's East End community, where about 100 people took shelter and in an elementary school Friday night. Marie Artwater told the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette she brought her parents to school from their nearby home. My parents were in the storm cellar in the front of the house, right where the trees were ripped down, Atwater said. It just ripped up the yard. Red Cross disaster teams, which include nurses and mental health professionals, were in Scotland, East End, and other communities assessing damage and distributing water, food, and supplies as needed, spokeswoman Bignett Williams said. John Robinson, warning coordinator meteorologist with the NWS in Little Rock, said a slow-moving front from the west touched of a severe weather Friday.
That concludes our evening. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. I'm okay.